Hi, this is Virginia with Book by Barthel Travel, and this is our very first travel session. Unfortunately, the actual travel session got snowed out, so we're just going to do a quick video on the difference between escorted tours and independent tours, which is what our travel session was going to be about. We'll just start right in. Escorted, independent. What are the differences and which one is right for you? There's nothing wrong with either of them. They're just different products. So let's go down the list of what makes them different, and then you can choose which type of tour fits your style best. An escorted tour has a set itinerary, and an independent tour, you get to choose what the itinerary is, so it's much more flexible. So for an escorted tour, let's choose Spain. You might go to Madrid, Granada, Cordoba, Barcelona. Let's just say that. With an independent tour, well, you really want to see those places, but you also want to fit in Sevilla and Cadiz. So that isn't part of the itinerary of the escorted tour, so maybe an independent tour would be better for you. Another thing about an escorted tour is it's scheduled. Everything that you're going to do and see is set on your itinerary schedule. For an independent tour, you get to choose what your schedule is. So it's basically your time. You get to decide when you want to go and see what kind of sites. On the escorted tour, the sightseeing is automatically built into the itinerary. The other thing about an escorted tour is it's scheduled. So you have certain times that you have to be ready to go on the bus to go and see the sights. There are certain times where you're going to be told what time your meals are, and certain times when you're going to be told that it's time to move from one hotel to another or one city to another. On an independent tour, you get to choose that timing. So when we set up an independent tour for you, you decide you want to do 3 nights in Madrid instead of 2. Or you want to spend an extra day in Cadiz instead of moving on to Granada. So that's another difference between escorted and independent. Something else, with escorted tours, your transportation is all included. So once you land in the city that you're going to, let's say Madrid, a bus is going to pick you up at the airport along with all the other passengers that are on that escorted tour. You're going to have bus transportation from city to city. You're going to have transportation to go and see the sights. On an independent tour, you have to have that transportation set up for you. So when you land at the airport, if you are comfortable getting a taxi to your hotel, that's fine. If you want someone to pick you up, we have to build that into your itinerary. But you get to make those choices. With an escorted tour, it's already made for you. Another thing is what's included. In an escorted tour, certain parts of the itinerary are already included in the price that you're paying. So certain meals are included, certain sightseeing is included, the transportation, the tour guides, all of that is already included in your package for an escorted tour. For an independent tour, you decide what you want to prepay. So if you don't want to set up meals, say you want to be free to have dinner whenever and wherever you want in each city, you're not prepaying that. You're paying as you go. So the price that you pay for an independent tour may be very different than the price you pay for an escorted tour, depending on what the inclusions are. And the last and probably most important difference between an escorted tour and an independent tour is that an escorted tour has a tour manager or a group leader with you. That means you have somebody with you to ask questions, if you have a problem, to point out a problem and get it solved. You have somebody who's probably going to be bilingual, which means if you're in a foreign country, you don't have to be uncomfortable about not speaking the language because your tour manager or tour guide will be bilingual and speaking the local language as well as English. On an independent tour, if you are in Madrid and you don't speak Spanish, you're going to need to get around with hopefully finding people who can speak English or knowing a few phrases of Spanish. And some people are comfortable with that and some people aren't. If you choose to book day tours on your independent travel, We can certainly arrange for English speaking guides, so you would have that capability, but you're much more independent. You really have to be comfortable in a foreign country, maybe not speaking the language fluently. So the difference between an escorted tour and an independent tour, they're just very different products. One is not better than the other. One is not, going to make your experience everything you want it to be, and one is not going to make your experience horrible. It's not like that. They are very different products, and each trip may be best done in a different way. So let's say in Spain, you do speak a little Spanish, so maybe an independent tour would be a little bit better for you because you want to see different things than what the escorted tour has to offer, and you speak a little bit of the language, so you'd be comfortable traveling in Spain. But then you go to Greece, and you don't know Greek, and you don't know how to get from island to island in Greece, and you might want to take an escorted tour there, so that you have all of that built into your trip before you go. So really, the difference between escorted and independent, they're just very different products, and I think for each trip you need to choose what's right for you. If you have any questions, the best thing to do, contact us, because this is what we do. We can set up an escorted tour for you, we can set up an independent tour for you, and we can talk through the different points so that you know which tour is best for you. Virginia at Book by Barthel. You can find us online at bookbybarthel.com, or you can give us a call at 845-810-2747. Thanks for joining our first travel session.